from Miller Park in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tonight, it is Game 3 of the 4-game series between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers. The Pirates won the first 2 games of this series, so we check out now the National League Volkswagen wild card standings. The Pirates remain very much in the hunt for that second wild card spot, just 2.5 back of the St. Louis Cardinals. Greg Brown along with John Wehner and Robbie Ince-Mikowski. Glad you could be with us. And John, when we started this series on Thursday night, we talked about the ghosts of the past. How could the Pirates exercise those ghosts? They had lost 9 straight games going back to last year here at Miller Park. Well, lo and behold, they have won the first 2 games of this series.
Play better baseball, play clean baseball, get great pitching from Chad Cole and Ryan Vogelsong. I think that's the key. Not many mistakes defensively. Some free passes last night, but they didn't come back to haunt you. It was the Brewers that made some mistakes, got the big grand slam last night. But I think it's important for every phase of the game to be good. You know, you get the clutch hitting, you get the big hit, you play the defense, you get the strong pitching. And
the strong bullpen as well, along with those starters. So the Pirates look to make it 3 straight over the Brewers here in Milwaukee. Obviously, a couple of guys, well, they ain't afraid of no ghosts. Chad Cole on Thursday, Ryan Vogelsong last night. We'll see about Jameson Taillon. He pitches tonight for the Bucks. Miller Park, winning the first 2 games in the series, smiling when you see that guy taking the hill. The 24-year-old rookie, Jameson Taillon. Last time out against his hometown team, the Houston Astros at PNC Park, certainly pitched well enough to win that ball game.
Oh, very good stuff again. His fastball is what's really impressed me. He's been able to move it up and down, in and out, sometimes 4 seams, 2 seams. Almost looked like one of them cut, but he's located that well. He's been able to finish guys with the curveball, mix in some change-ups. I mean, he has been, in my opinion, better than advertised since getting called up.
So he and really Chad Cole, the 2 young guns, have done the job turning this rotation around. Ivan Nova was added from the Yankees in the deal. Ryan Vogelsong has been tremendous since coming off the disabled list especially. And of course, Garrett Cole has struggled the second half of this season, but in his absence, it has been Tyone, Kuhl, Nova, and Vogelsong getting this pitching staff turned around.
Hey, you really thought, it was going to be the offense that was going to carry this club. It hasn't. The starting pitching has been outstanding. The offense has been a little bit inconsistent.
We will be back for the first pitch of this one in just a moment, but first we go back to Pittsburgh, the studios, and Dan Potash for a game break. And once again, the roof open here. A gorgeous night in Milwaukee for Game 3 of the 4-game series. Pirates, Brewers, Flint Hurdles, Bucks are now 65 and 61 on the year, having won the first 2 games by scores of 3-2 in extras, 5-3 last night. RAV4 starting lineup for the Bucks: Josh Harrison, Josh Bell, and then Andrew McCutchen. Last 11 games, McCutchen hitting .341. Matt Joyce is in the cleanup spot. Gregory Polanco has the night off. Starling Marte and left. Adam Frazier gets the call at third base for a struggling David Freese. Jordy Mercer, Eric Fryer, Jameson Tyone. Pirates starting 9 against Jimmy Nelson.
And they'll face Jimmy Nelson, who's done good work against the Pirates, but not a great season. 7-13 record, a .426 ERA. A miserable August for Jimmy Nelson. He's just 1-4 in 5 starts, an .851 ERA.
Josh Harrison 2 for 8 in the series. And just 2 for 12 in his career against Nelson. Underway. Jay 1 for 4 last night. A single to start, or a single with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Started the game last night striking out. Also drew a walk later in the ball game. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Something to watch. Jimmy Nelson having allowed 67 bases on balls, the 2nd most in the National League. He's also given up the 10th most hits in the senior circuit.
A guy with a pretty good sinking fastball and throws it firm, about 93 miles per hour. An unhittable slider at times, and a curveball to go with it.
A base hit for Josh Harrison. A leadoff single for Jay. Check out the Honda defense. Keon Broxton, the speedy center fielder, one-time property of the Pirates. Patrol center, Ryan Braun, Domingo Santana, his wingers. Hernan Perez, Chris Carter on the corners of the infield. Lando Arcia, Scooter Gennett up the middle with Martin Maldonado catching. Maldonado has thrown out about 30% of the runners trying to steal this year, and they have attempted to take off against Nelson. 31 attempts, and Harrison wanted to go and shut it down.
Yeah, took a big crossover step off of first at Jay, but not a good enough jump, so put on the brakes.
7 caught stealing with Nelson on the hill this season. Josh Bell walked again last night. Also had a base hit off the 3rd baseman's glove, hit a ball to the wall in center field. So he is now 8 for 19 with 7 walks to begin his major league career. Nelson finally steps off.
That's usually one of those called from the dugout, a hold and step off. They're just holding to see if Josh Harrison would tip his hand, maybe flinch.
And a little dribbler. Going to work like a bunt. Maldonado throws to Carter. Harrison the 2nd one out. Early scoring chance for Pittsburgh. Pirates and Brewers were scoreless through 5 innings last night, before the Pirates scored 5, and the highlight, the grand slam by Mercer. Jimmy Nelson will face Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen 1 for 4 with a walk and a run scored last night. That after his 3 for 5 3 RBI game on Thursday. 4 for 10 in his career against Jimmy Nelson. Misses badly there.
And even with the misses, you see the movement on the fastball, and it's guys like this that has pretty good sink. I just wonder why they even mess around with setting up inside outside. Just sit up down the middle, especially if you have control issues, and just let the ball run where it may. And there's a good hard slider. Opponent's hitting just 140 off of it. And then sometimes out of the blue, he'll have a good curveball and he'll dominate with that.
One of his better starts was against the Pirates at PNC Park, his 3rd start of the year. Went 6 innings, gave up a couple of runs on 4 hits, got the win. There goes Harrison for 3rd. And Maldonado's throw safe, says the 3rd base umpire, Ramon De Jesus. It could be a very big steal. And of course, now we'll wait to see if they want to challenge. Wait for the bench to check with the clubhouse as they review all the angles.
And Josh Harrison taking advantage of that slow time it takes Nelson to get the ball to his catcher. And Josh didn't have a great walking lead. A lot of times you'll see guys, base stealers, kind of walking off the bag, getting some momentum. Maldonado thought he got the ball there in time.
They are not going to challenge. 17th steal for Harrison. Caught only 4 times in the infield. Will concede a run. Playing it back. And 3-1. And again, Maldonado lunging. That pitch outside. Three and one the count. Jimmy Nelson, 27-year-old from Niceville, Florida. A couple of years ago, moved to the Houston, Texas area. Second-round pick out of the University of Alabama in 2010.
See a pretty good 3-1 pitch. And a good 3-2 pitch. Pretty much the same spot. Andrew unable to pull the trigger. In the situation, you just wanted a ground ball.
Rivers Casino tips to win.
Oh, we got to figure out Jimmy Nelson. I mentioned he has good numbers against the Pirates. 5-2, a 2.55 ERA in 7 starts, and you know, maybe it's the walk, maybe it's just getting the big hit, and then you expect a big game from the backups. You always like the times you see Matt Joyce, Adam Frazier, and Eric Fryer in the lineup, and these guys have done such a good job when they've gotten the opportunity to play, and you expect big things from those guys.
Well, here's one of them, Matt Joyce. Pinch hitter last night, flied out to deep center. This is his 39th start of the year. He's hitting .273 as a starting player with 8 homers, a dozen home runs in all. Snap throw by Maldonado and almost got Harrison, and now Hernan Perez points to the dugout and says, check that.
Yeah, this is a play that they put on beforehand. Maldonado and Perez, and some sort of sign. It could be eye contact. It could just be maybe a little tap of the glove to the thigh. And bang bang play, but Jay Hay got back in time. Perez so far off the line at third. Jay Hay maybe thinking that wasn't going to be an issue.
And that fastball again misses. 3-0 the count. 2-1 correction. The scoreboard has 3-0. We are right. 2-1 on the upper left portion of your screen. Now it is 3-1.
We'll see what Nelson wants to do. Does he want to come at Matt Joyce? Or is he careful and try to start over with Marte, who's on deck?
Well, he does walk Joyce to put runners at the corners. 68 free passes allowed by Nelson. Brandon Finnegan of the Cincinnati Reds has walked 72 batters. Josh Harrison singled, went to second on the chopper by Bell, stole third, and now runners at the corners for Marte, who's a .313 career hitter against Jimmy Nelson. Marte was 1 out of 4, drove in a run last night in the 6th inning. In fact, he brought in the first run of the ball game. 2 hits in the series. Ball 1. Thirteen losses for Jimmy Nelson, matches Patrick Corbin of the Diamondbacks for the most losses in the National League. Both pitchers have dropped 13 decisions. Ground ball fair inside the third base bag. Harrison trots in. Now Joyce is going to be waved home. Now stopped by Sofield. Into second base goes Starling Marte with the RBI double.
That's a big RBI hit for Marte, getting it inside the line. The 2-out RBI is always golden. Not wasting much time. The first pitch he likes, that running fastball, belt high inside corner, perfectly placed. I'm hoping that ball gets by Braun down there. If it does, perhaps you can send Joyce.
First inning continues to be a trouble spot for Jimmy Nelson. 18 first inning runs. This is 27th start, and a strike on Adam Frazier. Two big stakes on the table for the rookie Frazier. David Freese struggling lately, so he sits tonight, hoping Frazier can spark this offense. The Pirates have won the first two games of the series, as John said, really just timely hitting, taking advantage of mistakes. Great pitching, and this should be the third out. As Braun makes the catch. But the Pirates get on board early. Starling Marte's double, and it's 1-0. Now go to the bottom of the first inning. Brewers under Craig Counsell, 56 wins, 72 losses. He's got this starting lineup out there. Keon Broxton, Scooter Gennett, Ryan Braun, 1-2-3. Hernan Perez hits cleanup. Chris Carter has a 19-game on-base streak going, and reaching base at a 449 clip. Domingo Santana will follow. Orlando Arcia, Martin Maldonado, Jimmy Nelson for the Brew Crew.
For Tyone, Hyundai numbers 3-3, a 2.92 ERA, 13th start for Jameson. Looking for his first win here against the Brew Crew. He pitched two solid games, both games going 6 innings, allowing just 3 earned runs total in those 2 starts.
Broxton leading off tonight, was 1 for 2 in a start down in the lineup last night. Walked a couple times. He's walked 3 times in the series. .235 batting average, his time in the majors.
The curveball just nasty from Jameson.
Start against the Brewers July 19th at PNC Park, and then here at Miller Park the end of July. Broxton has 5 hits and a dozen at bats this season against his ex-team, the Pirates. Tyone Tremendous his first dozen starts. Now 3-2. And a deep breath from Broxton.
Running that 94-mile-per-hour fastball with the late movement, chasing Broxton in there.
Frazier gets him. Taillon gets Broxton to chop the ball to Frazier, making his first career big league start at third base. Jordy Mercer at short. Josh Harrison, Josh Bell on the right side. It's Marte, McCutchen, Joyce in the outfield left to right, and Eric Fryer catches Taillon for a second time. Talked to him before the game about his first opportunity to catch Taillon when the Pirates met the Padres on the 11th of this month, and it was one of his better starts. 8 innings of 3-hit shutout ball. Scooter Gennett takes the strike. One out of 5 last night for Gennett. They drop that into center field. A little flare. Gennett with his second hit of the series.
Talk about it all the time. The hitter staying inside the ball and the hands lead the barrel. Gets tied up a little bit. If he pulls off it and comes around it, it's probably a ground ball to the right side, but stays through it. Able to fist it out there to shallow center.
Gennett on for Ryan Braun. 3 for 9 in the series. Got interesting to say the least last night after Tony Watson was able to retire the first 2 men in the bottom of the 9th inning with the Pirates leading at 5-3. Gave up the infield hit to Braun, walked Chris Carter, and then both men stole second and third. Braun swiped the third base bag, Carter second. 2-0 on Braun. But Watson was able to get Domingo Santana to pop up to end the ball game. Long way, but slicing foul. Very long way the other way.
Very long way. That ball just kept going. I mean, that's second deck the other way. Man.
Taillon has given up 8 home runs on the year. 5 of the 8 have been solo homers. 5 of the 8 home runs, solo shots. Watching Gennett. Teoscar Hernandez of the Houston Astros hit a 2-run homer off Jameson Taillon in his start on Monday. And now 2-2.
Looked like he crossed him up with a changeup there.
Putting together a great rookie season, Jameson Taillon, who made his major league debut on June the 8th against the New York Mets. Made a handful of starts and the Pirates shut him down for a time. Brought him back July the 19th against these Brewers. He has missed with that riding fastball.
With such good command, as we showed you the 60 strikeouts to just 10 walks. You can see they're working Braun inside. You can see where he goes here with the full count pitch.
There goes the runner. Ball 4. Two on, and it will bring up Hernan Perez. We're going to take a look at the Barrel Automotive League leader stat in just a moment as Fryer goes out to talk with Tyone. Harrison checking in as well. Tyone's ranks number of categories since the All-Star break. ERA is 5th lowest. That WHIP tied for 3rd. First in walks per 9. Walks, strikeouts ratio, and ground ball percentage. Could use one here. This is the man, Hernan Perez, who hit a ball off of Tyone's head. One of the frightening moments of the year, July the 19th. Strike is called.
Good curveball. Well, that's pretty remarkable. I think it was, 105 miles per hour off the bat of Perez, and to be able to stay in the game and pretty much dominate.
Yeah. Stayed in the game, retired Perez the next 2 times, but then the next time they met here, Perez homered off of him in the 1st inning. On a fly ball to left. And he homers here in the 1st inning to give Milwaukee a 3-1 lead. For Perez, his 12th.
And the Pirates have been pitching him carefully. A lot of off-speed pitches. This is a changeup. He just caught too much plate with it. Wanted to leave it outside. It ran back on the inner half of the plate. And if you leave a changeup, not that it was really that high in the zone, but above the knee, thigh high, inner half. That can happen to you.
Yeah, the 9th home run that Tyone has allowed this season, and the 2nd he's given up to Hernan Perez. Chris Carter among the league leaders with 30 home runs. Perez a dozen home runs and 46 RBIs on the year. Did not start last night. Carter, a couple of walks and a base hit for the Brewers on Friday. Yes, he did, says Bob Davidson. Going around for the strikeout. Tyone's first strikeout and the 2nd out here.
Good curveball, hard to lay off. Look from this view if he was able to check it. No, it looked like he offered.
Liner to right for Santana, and that's going to head to the wall. Domingo Santana promptly doubles the other way.
And another batter geared up for a fastball there and gets one elevated outside corner. And this quick grass, the ball just takes off. Thought maybe that Joyce would be able to cut it off the bat, but that thing just scoots to the wall.
Ray Searage, an early trip to the mound to talk to Jameson Tyone. Tyone's 13th major league start. And Down 3-1. Now the rookie, Orlando Arcia. His first major league home run in the 6th inning last night against Jared Hughes. Playing in his 24th major league game.
Put a pretty good swing on that sinker of Jared Hughes. A lot of hitters just turn on it, pound it into the ground. He was able to stay inside it, drive it out to left center.
Hard hit, past Frazier. The runner headed to the plate. Marte guns toward home, too late, and it is 4-1. Santana scores. Arcia to second on the throw.
He likes the ball inside, and he's been able to keep it fair and hit it hard that way, although that one wasn't the hardest ball he's hit, but finds the hole perfectly between Frazier and Jordy Mercer. And with 2 outs, Santana going on contact, so even the great arm of Marte couldn't prevent him from crossing the plate.
Maldonado, the 8th man in the order, will be walked intentionally, as he was in the 2nd inning last night to get to the pitcher. Last night it was Matt Garza. Tonight it's Jimmy Nelson. 4 runs allowed by Jameson Taillon. Matches the amount of runs he gave up against the Chicago Cubs, his 3rd big league start, and then 5 days later against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Season high, 4 runs given up.
And he's been able to avoid the big inning for the most part, Taillon, and his early struggles. Already at 27 pitches. For a guy that averages just 14.4 pitches per inning.
Two on, 2 out. Jimmy Nelson has 4 hits and 43 at bats this year. Does have 3 RBIs.
Punch outs in 43 at bats. Just put the ball in play 15 times.
Taillon looks to get out of it now. And does. A long first inning with the Brewers scoring 4. Big 3-run homer by Hernan Perez. 4-1 Milwaukee. Hernan Perez, the 3-run homer. Bottom of the first. Jameson Taillon gives up another home run to Perez. And an emotional display, slamming that glove down when he got back to the dugout.
Young pitchers for the Pirates come up here and look so poised and no phased. He's just ready to go, and then they feel like they belong and that they could pitch here, and very rarely do you see them show much emotion. And Jameson just obviously frustrated. I mean, I think that has to be tough. I mean, as a starting pitcher period, you wait your 4 days to get your next turn. You anticipate it. You can't wait to get out there. Then you struggle early on, and you have the rough inning.
And Jordy Mercer, who turned 30 years old today, takes ball one. First career grand slam last night. Now with 10 homers and 49 runs batted in on the year. Hard shot, one hopper, and Jeanette able to take care of it. Blistered off Mercer's bat, one away.
I thought for a moment that ball was going to hit him between the eyes as that ball hit right on the button. Jeanette positioned perfectly. That ball really came up on him. Just gets the glove up there in time.
Now Eric Fryer. Fryer's average for the season is .267. Cardinals and Pirates just 188 in 22 games with the Bucks. Now Jimmy Nelson has this 3-run lead, facing the bottom third of the batting order. Fryer just 3 hits in his last 30 at bat, so he looks to provide a spark tonight as he catches Jameson Taillon. This is his 9th start as a Pirate. And back to Nelson. 2 down, and we'll bring up Jameson Taillon. Don't forget about Travel Tumbler Night next Saturday at PNC Park. Game 2 of the 3-game series against these Brewers. 7:05 first pitch. First 20,000 fans receive a 1971 Pirates Travel Tumbler presented by Dunkin' Donuts. Get your tickets right now at Pirates.com. The penultimate regular season homestand beginning this coming Friday. And Saturday, those travel tumblers. Get Pirates.com. Get your tickets. Jameson Taillon takes a ball from Jimmy Nelson. 1 for 21 is Taillon. Mentioned Nelson was born in Niceville, Florida, in the panhandle of the Sunshine State, but December of 2012 he moved to the Houston area and worked out over the winters with Taillon and one-time Pirate draft pick Zach Dotson, a left-handed pitcher the Pirates drafted in 2009. Dotson recently suspended by Major League Baseball. He had been signed by the Orioles as a minor league free agent this winter, and it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning for Jimmy Nelson.
The bottom half of the second inning at Miller Park. I'm Robbie Mikowski. We heard Greg Brown just a couple moments ago talking about the relationship between Jameson Taillon and Jimmy Nelson, the two starters in tonight's game. Well, last trip to Pittsburgh, when the Brewers were in town, the two were able to have dinner together with the rock band Disturbed. As we bring you this Point Park University tweet, now the friendship between Nelson and Taillon started with the workouts in Houston, as Greg mentioned a couple moments ago. But you're probably wondering, how did he end up at dinner with the band Disturbed? Well, the band was in town for a show at Stage AE, and this was the first time that both Taillon and Nelson had an off day together in the big leagues together. Now get this, one of the clubbies with the Brewers is neighbors with the drummer for Disturbed. So they all went out. Taillon told me he's not the biggest rock music fan in the world, but he had a great time with everyone, and he does know a couple of their songs. I'm not sure he'll be able to enter the stadium to their music or take them out to one of Disturbed's songs, but a good night had by the two buddies from the Woodlands area.
It's pretty cool. Robbie, that Disturbed heavy metal band from Chicago. And right now Jimmy Nelson up 4-1 on his buddy Keon Broxton. Bottom of the first, bounced out. And 2-1. Broxton, Scooter Gennett, Ryan Braun against Jameson Taillon, who was born in Lakeland, Florida. He's 24 years old. And a fly ball toward McCutchen. Broxton is the first out here in the bottom of the second.
A lot of time left in this ball game, and you know Taillon, he wants to go as deep as he can, try to keep the Brewers at 4 and hope that the offense can come back against the struggling Jimmy Nelson.
Scooter Gennett singled and was aboard with a Perez home run. Marte over. Makes the catch in fair territory. A couple of quick outs. That's more like it for Taillon.
Still a little up in the zone. I'm sure he prefers the ground ball over the fly ball, but yeah, a chance to get back into the dugout quickly if he can retire Braun here in a few pitches or less.
He's given up now 29 runs in his 13 starts. 11 of them have come in the first inning. He might be one of those guys, and you see that a lot out of really good pitchers. You don't get them early, you might not get them as they start to settle down. But the Brewers happy with a 4 spot in the first. Taillon walked Braun in the first. Couple strikes on Braun. Just checking with Bob Davidson.
That curveball was meant to be away. It ended up coming back inside, catching the inside edge. It's the fastball up to 95. Tried to sneak it back, sneak it by Ryan Braun, but still alive.
Braun still alive. 1-2 the count. Now 32 years old, Ryan Braun, a first-round pick back in 2005 out of the University of Miami. He was the National League's Rookie of the Year in 2007. Won the MVP in 2011. Finished second to Buster Posey the following year, and suspended by Major League Baseball in 2013.
Still putting up good numbers.
Yep. Many wondered what would happen after missing all that time following the suspension. 2014, not completely healthy, but hit 19 homers, drove an 81 2 years ago. And Taillon has a 1-2-3, bottom of the second. That's his third strikeout. It is a 4-1 Brew Crew lead. Automotive this day in Pirates history. August 27th, 1965. The Pirates score 6 in the 9th, tie the Astros, and go extras. Win it in 11. In that 9th inning, Manny Mota, Bob Bailey, Jerry Lynch, Andre Rogers each had RBI singles. Don Clendenin capped the scoring with a sacrifice fly. And then in the 11th, Rogers drives in pitcher Al McBean, who had reached on a fielder's choice with the winning run. McBean got the win, and it is, as you see, raining here, which is highly unusual. If they suspect rain, they close the roof normally. Now they have started to close it. Boy, a little squibber, and looked like it hit maybe the lip. Had a lot of English on it to begin with, and that's smart hitting, says Josh Harrison, in the rain.
Yes, it is. Another hit for Josh, setting the table, hopefully, for a big inning. And that ball kind of took a bad hop on Jeanette. Got some English on it, kicks right, to his right, as we're looking at it to our left.
The roof here is like the tarp. They're closing the roof just as the rain is stopping. Just a real quick shower. Here's Josh Bell. Base hit for Jay Hay. And a late swing. Bell dribbled one in front of the plate his first time up. The roof can close or open in 10 minutes. They are moving 12,000 tons of structural steel right now. It is on the move, despite, again, the fact that the rain has stopped and blue skies. One ball, one strike.
See a good look at the open stance of Josh Bell. That right foot almost out of the batter's box. Jay Hay going to do some groundwork. Maybe not the best footing out there.
One and two on Josh Bell.
And you watch Josh Bell and the way he does stride, and not quite as exaggerated as like a John Jaso who has that right foot behind him. And Josh Bell, a wide open stance. He strides to a little bit closed. That right foot will end up being a little bit in front of the left foot once he gets it down. But he doesn't stride forward, he just strides towards the plate. A lot of hitters do that because they feel like they can stay back. You know, if your feet are square and you start striding out towards the pitcher, you feel like you're kind of carrying your weight too much onto that front leg. Well, with Josh Bell, you know, he's just picking that foot up and moving it closer to the plate. No movement going forward.
Harrison takes off again. And the ball gets away, so he has his second stolen base of the night. Stole third in the first inning. Now 18 steals for Jay Hay.
Yeah, that's another big jump from Josh. Nelson not real quick to the plate. And catchers never like it. I mean,
they take it personally.
Yeah, they do take it personally. For guys that, you know, if they throw out 30%, that's pretty good. So they're going to be stolen on over 70% of the time for the most part.
And Bell bounces it to third. And a throw gets Bell. Carter might have actually tagged him on the helmet. It was the first base umpire, Dan Iasonia, pointed to Carter. And Harrison holds at second, one away.
And we see Bell hit a lot of balls to the left side. This was even a breaking ball that he hits to the left side. And you'll see the throw that's off the mark. The tag comes down on Bell's helmet.
Good work from Dan Iasonia and Chris Carter. Big first baseman goes up to get it. One away. Harrison still at second. He was at third base with Andrew McCutchen at the plate. One out. McCutchen struck out looking. A lot of talk recently about McCutchen starting to finally bust out of it, and in particular in these so-called clutch situations with runners in scoring position. That's when you really look for a guy, the stars of the game, to come through. And he's been doing that especially in the second half since the All-Star break.
Yes, he has. Big hit after big hit recently.
But rolls this one to the shortstop. And he is thrown out easily by Arcia. Harrison on to third with 2 outs. So we're in the same situation we saw in the first, where Nelson walked Joyce, but then he gave up the double to Marte that brought in Harrison. Andrew McCutchen 0 for 2. Jay Hay matching his season high stolen base count. He had 18 steals 2 years ago.
Came in a little lighter. I don't know if it's noticeable as far as, like, the foot speed. But man, he's been aggressive and much more successful on the bases.
Bouncer to second. Jeanette retires Joyce. Well, Harrison was at second with no one out. Nelson strands him. Inside Pirates baseball, see how former Pirate Bob Robertson elevated his family into a better situation and how the Pirates' moves on defense can certainly mess with some hitters. That and more on Inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network tonight after postgame on Root Sports. And we'll see how Taillon approaches Hernan Perez now. 3-run homer in the first. Ball one. Hitting over 380 against Pirates pitching. It's not just Taillon. Perez has hit the ball hard against. Slicing out of play.
That's a good location for a 2-0 pitch. I think if a pitcher would want one pitch and he's guaranteed to locate one pitch, it's a down and away fastball. And you're behind in the count, 2-0, more middle than away. But that down and away pitch, furthest away from the hitter, toughest one to hit.
Now 3-1. That's a liner to center field deep. Hernan Perez homers again.
Once again, Jamison tries to go down and away, but leaves it up, elevates it. And for a hitter, when you're up 3-1 in the count, you know you're getting a fastball, and not only up, but right down the middle.
Perez first multi-homer game of his career. And that is obviously a matchup that did not favor Taillon. Perez has scolded the ball literally off of Taillon, and now has homered 3 times off of him in his last 5 at bats.
Wow.
Perez has turned out to be quite a pickup. The Brewers.
Oh, I'd say. Yeah, nice.
Claimed off waivers June of last year. Tigers let him go as Frazier backs up on that last hop to get Carter. Jameson Taillon giving up a 3-run homer to Perez in the first, and then a base hit by Orlando Arcia later in the inning, and a leadoff home run to Perez here in the third. It's just foul by Domingo Santana.
Tell these guys up there aggressive on the fastball, trying to get to it. And again, that's the pitch that Jameson hasn't been able to command like we've seen in the past. Not missing by much there, that curveball.
That's line to right at Joyce. 2 outs. Near the bottom of the third inning, it brings up Arcia. We invite you to get ready for the big game this fall. Show your university pride on Penn State versus Pitt rivalry night at PNC Park on September 9th. Purchase tickets online. You can join fellow fans and alumni of your favorite school to cheer on your Buccos. Plus, you'll receive a Pirates cap in Penn State or Pitt colors. To get your cap, purchase tickets at pirates.com/rivalry. Broken bat and kicks off of Taillon, and Arcia will reach.
Not hit all that hard. As you see, where's Josh Harrison? He's right behind the bag pretty much at second base. He would have had a play. But, just the reaction from Taillon. Once it hits off his foot, no chance.
Five runs, 6 hits off of Taillon. Arcia has stolen 3 bases in 3 tries since joining the major leagues. Taillon looking for the final out here. Down 4. Walked Maldonado intentionally in the first. Maldonado has 3 hits in his last 20 at bats. That's a 150 average. Over his last 48 bats, he has 9 hits. That's a 188 clip. But he has had success over the years against the Pirates. Toward left. Extra bases. Heading home. The throw. Out at the plate. Marte got to it quickly. Jordy Mercer to Eric Fry to apply the tag on Arcia. And we hold everything as is the case now in modern day baseball. Craig Counsell says hold it. A great baseball play, but is apparently going to be challenged.
Boy, oh boy, that looks like a late tag. The ball beats the runner by a mile, by a couple of steps, but look where the tag is. It looks like the tag didn't get applied until that front foot went across home plate. Although we don't see anybody.
Challenge. We'll take a look at UPMC scoreboard at that play that ended Craig Counsell out talking to Bob Davidson during the break. Very close.
Oh, there's a tag. See, we didn't see that the first time through. Good work there. Different angle. Seeing the tag on that front leg.
Pirates trail by 4.
And just another assist for that man, Starling Marte. But that's a play the Brewers have to make. They have a pitcher due up next, Jimmy Nelson. So they're going to be aggressive and try to score the run despite the strong arm by Marte. A good relay from Mercer.
That assist count, by the way, is up to 16, which matches his total from last year. 16 assists. Marte doubled in a run in the first. Marte
plays it nicely and hits the cutoff man, Jordy Mercer, perfectly right there, about neck high. Jordy put himself in a good position to catch it. He was already turned as he caught it. So all he had to do is get it out of the glove and throw a strike to Fryer, and Fryer puts the tag down.
Outfield assist leaders updated. 16 for Marte, who was a Gold Glove winner for the first time last year. Talked about this before, that Paul Wainer had 28 assists in 1931. Roberto Clemente had 27 in 1961. Dave Parker 26 assists in 1977. Top 3 single season marks in Pirates history. Still 2-2. And that's looking as though Jameson Taillon is done for the night.
At the very least, they're going to get locked loose in case Taillon's spot comes up here in the top of the fourth. He's due up fifth.
And foul.
And we saw a similar situation last road trip in LA. Ivan Nova, where I think he was due up. I'm not sure if was it LA or San Fran. But anyhow,
yeah,
you know, it was fairly early in the game. I think at top of the fifth inning, Nova had only gone 4. And just in case the situation arose where the Pirates can get back into the game with one swing. And I think when Nova's spot came up.
Yeah, that was against San Francisco.
Yeah, the Nova came up in a spot with the bases loaded. And so Glenn Hurdle went with a pinch hitter.
Jeanette going to retire Marte. It's not Taillon's night so far with location.
And even his curveball's gotten hit hard a couple of times.
He has been so good in his first dozen starts. We talked about at the outset how he and Kuhl and Nova, Vogelsong have kind of picked up the slack for an ineffective Garrett Cole the second half of this season, and reports that Garrett Cole will be traveling to Los Angeles tomorrow to have that arm examined. Javier Temple of the Tribune Review says an elbow, and no surprise that Cole, the Pirates haven't announced it, but they have been very vague their answers about Cole for a couple days. They have not put out the probables, which is a clear indication that Cole isn't going to start Monday against the Cubs. Hasn't done a sideline.
Well, hopefully we'll receive good news if that is the case.
And Adam Frazier, a line single to center field as the Pirates try to get this offense going. That's something we talked about at the outset. Allegheny Health Network injury update tonight. Indianapolis, 58 pitches. Tyler Glass now down at AAA Indy.
No runs, but the walks. 3 in 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 punch outs. I'm sure Ray would like to see fewer walks, more strikeouts.
They're hoping that he would go at least 4. Reports from Pirate prospects talking about no command of his fastball or curve, according to John Drecker.
There, borderline outside corner. And one thing I've noticed here, especially in this 4th inning, Nelson seems to be up a bit in the strike zone. See if the Pirates can take advantage. 3 ground balls to finish the 3rd inning on pitches down in the zone.
Two balls, 1 strike.
Sure, Adam Frazier probably thinks he could steal a base against Jimmy Nelson, but you're down 4 runs. It kind of negates the running game a little bit. I mean, you have to be careful. You have to be pretty sure that you can steal a bag. Definitely don't want to make it out on the bases down this many runs. Now, a very favorable count here for Jordy Mercer.
3-1 again. Jimmy Nelson has walked coming into this game 67 batters, 2nd highest total in the National League. And again, he has pitched very well against the Pirates, as John pointed out. 3-2.
Even down 4 here, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see Adam Frazier take off. Very big lead over there.
There he goes. Slap foul, look out. The first base dugout. Frazier off on the 3-2 pitch to Mercer. Down 5-1 here in the 4th. Eric Fryer on deck in the pitcher spot. And the Pirates have runners at first and second. Second walk for Nelson. Point Park University tweets wishing Pirate shortstop a happy birthday as Maldonado goes out to talk to Nelson. "30 years old today, Jordy Mercer. The day after he hits his first career grand slam. He is on. Frazier at second. Again, Eric Fryer due with just 3 hits in his last 31 at bats. Bob Davidson going to break up the conference. I don't even know if they have a clock here. So Fryer will come to the plate and Jaso will come out on deck to bat for Tyone. Jimmy Nelson shares the name of a one-time Pirate, Jim Nelson. Pitched for the Pirates a couple years, 1970, 1971. Fryer has 11 runs batted in on the year.
Looking for the big hit here. And give Fryer a lot of gap in left center field. Center fielder Broxton plays him towards right center. Pretty much straight up and right, straight up and left, with a lot of room. Look at all that room in that left center gap.
1 ball, 1 strike on Eric Fryer. It's his 16th start with the Pirates. Behind the plate, he had 8 starts with St. Louis. 6 RBIs in his 15 Pirate starts. And he checks and takes, and now count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Good job picking up the spin on that slider. That's a pitch where Nelson's looking for a swing and a miss. Starts it on the outside third and has it break off. He expects to get swings at that one. Borderline pitch goes against Fryer in favor of Nelson. This fastball looked to be outside and just barely, but the slider you see that actually ended up catching the bottom of the zone outside corner. So the count where it should be at 2-2.
Stays alive with a fastball fouled off by Fryer. And Fryer, 2 career home runs, both with the Minnesota Twins. Fryer spent parts of 3 seasons with the Twins. Pirates catcher Francisco Cervelli the night off. Still 2-2. And it remains a 2-2 count on Fryer. He was originally drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 10th round in 2007 out of Ohio State and traded to the Yankees for pitcher Chase Wright. He made it to the big leagues with the Bucks. The Pirates traded for him during that 2011 season, and they used 8 catchers. Another 2-2 pitch. Another foul.
Nelson keeps running that two-seamer in there on Fryer. Fryer staying alive. See a little choking up on the bat, just an inch or so.
Three and 2 to Fryer. Pirates down 4 here in the 4th inning. Nelson now has labored, thanks in large part to this outstanding plate appearance from Eric Fryer. See this pitch count and a 29th pitch due for Nelson here in the inning alone. The 3-2. And he walked him. Great job by Fryer. Back-to-back walks, loading them up. So now they are loaded for Jaso, who bats for Taillon.
Jaso with a pretty good eye. I'm sure will make Nelson throw strikes. And we mentioned that occurrence in San Francisco when Clint Hurdle pulled Ivan Nova. It was Matt Joyce that came through with a bases loaded pinch hit single that drove in 2, brought the Pirates within a run. Jaso with an opportunity to get the Bucks back into the game here with 1 out.
Jaso had a pinch hit single to start the 10th inning on Thursday and scored the game winner. Takes a strike. Had a pinch hit single on Wednesday afternoon against the Astros in the 5th inning. He batted for Garrett Cole. Pirates scored twice in that frame. Josh Bell has taken over the starting duties for now at first base. So Jaso limited to this role, and now it's 1 ball and 1 strike as that fastball at 94 miles per hour misses. Looking for a big pinch hit here from John Jaso to get the Pirates right back in it with 1 out.
And you'll take anything. A base hit would be great. Anything more, a bonus.
2 and 1, and if you're going to hand him a run, that's fine too. Yeah. 2 and 1 the count.
I'll take that as well.
I wonder if Craig Counsell's going to have to go to that bullpen phone at some point. Nelson really struggling the second half of this season. Last start aside, which was a good one against the Rockies. Line drive, base hit into right field. Station to station baseball. John Jaso again delivers as a pinch hitter, and it's 5-2.
That's big. And again, he's going to make you throw strikes. With the bases loaded here, first pitch, a little get me over slider from Nelson. Gets ahead 0-1. Then he misses here with a fastball in. Misses with a fastball away. And a fastball right down the middle, and Jaso turns him around.
Still loaded for Josh Harrison. Still quiet in the Brewers bullpen. Harrison 2 for 2. And ball 1.
And like Fryer, they play Harrison. The center fielder Broxton at least plays him in the right center, and so he too has the big gap in left center field. Looking for his 3rd hit there. You see all that room out there.
Harrison just 1 for 12 in bases loaded situations this season, and a bad looking swing and a miss.
fastball down the middle. Late decision by Harrison.
Harrison came in just 2 for 12 against Nelson in his career, but is 2 for 2 tonight. Base hit to right, base hit to second. And 1 and 2.
Nelson coming right at him there, challenging Josh. That swing closer to being on time. Still comes up empty.
Frazier scored on the hit. Mercer, Fryer, Jaso the runners. Line drive toward left field. Going to drop in for a base hit. This is going to score 1. This is going to score 2. And the ball gets away. Fryer scores behind Mercer. Jaso moves up to third. Harrison to second. It wasn't a bullet by any stretch, but dropped quickly in front of Braun, and Fryer, one of the fastest running catchers in the league, was right on Mercer's tail. And it is now a 5-4 ball game.
Boy, coming in thinking he was going to be able to tie up Harrison, but he muscles it out there. And Braun, he gets this ball pretty deep. That's why Rick Sofield decides to be aggressive with 1 out and try to send Fryer from second base. But why not? That's a long throw by Braun. It arrives about the time Fryer does at home plate.
And Fryer got a great jump too off the bag. Knew that Braun wasn't going to be able to make the catch. And now it's Josh Bell with a chance to tie it up and still just 1 out.
Big cut there. Pitch up in the zone. Two-seam fastball again. Look at, and that's where Josh likes it. He wants another one in that area. Likes that pitch up out over the plate.
Roller to the right side will tie this game. Josh Bell gets the ribby. It is 5-5.
Heck yeah, you'll take that RBI. They're going to play back and give it to you. Just put it in play. Get that run home. What a big inning here. Making it a brand new ball game.
Brings up McCutchen with Harrison at third. Harrison got credit for 2 runs batted in. Moved up 90 feet on the air by Braun, as did Jaso. That allowed Jaso to score the tying run. Bell picks up Major League RBI number 7. And can the Pirates clean up this table? Tyler Cravey loosens in the bullpen. Just up. McCutchen has struck out looking and bounced to short. Ball, 1 strike to count. A 40 pitch 4th inning for Jimmy Nelson. Can't imagine he's had many of these in his career.
No, that's a lot.
40 pitches. And go back to Eric Fryer. Yeah, could get lost in all this, but my goodness, he had a whale of an at-bat, plate appearance to draw that free pass. Started with Adam Frazier lining the single to center after Marte began the inning with a ground out. Then Mercer walked. Fryer, the extended plate appearance, the base hit by Jaso, the 2-run single by Harrison. Here's Eric Fryer.
Nelson gets away with one there. And McCutchen knows it too. He was frustrated he didn't drive that last pitch. See the location. Boy, that's just spinning up there, dead center. See a little grimace from Andrew thinking, man, make that mistake again.
And headed up the middle. Sliding stop, no chance to get McCutchen as Harrison scores, and the Pirates lead it here in the 4th inning, 6-5. They have put a 5 spot on the board to take the lead.
Yeah, that ball wasn't hit all that hard, but perfectly placed. And with Jeanette going down, and then McCutchen deserves this. I mean, he's lined out and has hit into some tough luck and swinging it better, and he ends up getting rewarded as he just tries to slap it up the middle, going hard all the way through. I'm not sure Jeanette or Scooter had to go down. If he doesn't slide,
he might have a chance, right?
He plants and throws it, he might get him, but once he slid, he took himself out of the play.
A 42 pitch 4th inning ends Jimmy Nelson's night. Jamison Tyone off the hook. Nelson is on the hook as Craig Counsell goes to the bullpen. Part of a big 4th inning as the Pirates score 5 times to this point. Now lead the Brewers 6-5. Josh Harrison 3 for 3. Andrew McCutchen picks up the RBI that ends Jimmy Nelson's night. 56 ribbies now for McCutchen. Jimmy Nelson going 3 2/3. This looks like it could be Cravey. Makes his 12th appearance.
I will take our chances when it's matched up bullpen against bullpen. Pirates versus the Brewers. The Pirates bullpen has been so good.
Ninth man to bat. Matt Joyce. He's walked and bounced out. Cravey had a 1-2-3 8th inning last night. Joyce flied out to the warning track against him as a pinch hitter.
Great knowledge of the strike zone from Matt Joyce. Always prepared, always ready. Anytime he gets a start too, you almost expect a huge hit.
Two and one. The backhand by Maldonado, and can't get a handle on it. New ball game. Pirates now up in the 4th. Matt Joyce, his first year in the National League. Drafted by the Tigers in 2005. Got to the big leagues 3 years later. Traded to Tampa Bay before the 2009 season for Edwin Jackson. And he spent 6 years in Tampa Bay and was an All-Star in 2011. Last year, a dismal 2015 campaign with the Angels. And he draws the walk. So Pirates bat around here. 2 on. Marte will come to the plate. .47 pitches here in the 4th inning by Nelson and Cravey.
That's a lot. That is a lot of pitches to throw in 1 inning.
Fly ball to center, sending Broxton back to the warning track. That finally does it. 10 men to the plate. Pirates now lead at 6-5.
The all-wheel drive RAV hybrid has performance that will make you rethink hybrid. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates put up a 5 spot at the top of this 4th inning. Clint Hurdle went to the bench early, pays off. Goes with John Jaso. Pinch hit for Tyone. And in the dugout, fist bumps even Polanco, who watched it. 3-inning outing for Tyone, and now it's up to that bullpen, and a guy who has quietly pitched very well as a reliever. Although this pitch is launched deep to left field. First pitch swinging. A home run for the pitcher. Wow. Wow is right. Tyler Cravey swings at the first pitch and hits his first career home run. Tyler Cravey, just his 10th career at bat, his first career hit is a no-doubt home run.
Didn't you see that one coming? You're thinking, boy, Craig Counsell has to go to his bullpen, has to have his reliever leading off the inning. So you think it's an automatic out, and he goes up there and just ambushes the first pitch he sees, a fastball up around the letters.
How about that? Tyler Cravey homers off Locke to tie the game at 6. A stunner. Adam Frazier goes out to right. Sean Rodriguez takes over at third. Broxton at the plate, 2-2 the count.
Good change up there from Locke.
After giving up the home run on the first pitch, Tyler Cravey strikes out Broxton. Look at the strikeout of Broxton. Here he is, the reliever.
You know, their at bats were so few and far between. You just got to wonder what's going through your mind. Not only on deck, but when you get in the box, then you hit a ball like that.
Yeah. Boy. Cravey hit a home run at Colorado Springs last year. The minors. Parts of 8 minor league seasons. 1 home run, an .095 hitter, 4 for 42 in the minors. Craig Counsell's pitcher ties the game. 0-2 on Jeanette. Jeff Locke, his 8th career major league relief appearance, and that is the first run he has given up as a reliever.
Trying to finish off Jeanette with the breaking ball. All breaking balls so far. How much Jeanette? He got the batting gloves on. He's got the pine tar. I think the pine tar is just something to show. I never see him touch the pine tar. He's got a nice, pretty little pile of pine tar on there. Watch, see if he ever touches it. Yeah, he never touches it.
So at the handle it's clean, but up the barrel a bit, you see that.
There,
there
he
he
goes.
goes. Yeah.
So he puts a little on the barrel. And he got it nice and wet. You know, some guys like the the dry hands, the dry batting gloves. Some like it really sticky. His pine tar nice and wet. Should make it a little more sticky once you go to it.
Two on Jeanette, Cincinnati native whose parents moved down to the Bradenton, Sarasota area. Let him play ball. Sarasota High School. Still 3-2.
Checking, making sure nothing's cracked. Figuring out how to hit lefties. Split's pretty even.
He had been a platoon guy really since joining the Brewers 3 years ago. And Harrison a bobble and still had a chance, but after the second one, no play.
Ends up being a pretty good at bat. Ends up hitting a ball up the middle. I'm not sure if he'll be rewarded with the hit or if that'll be an error on Jay Hay. I know this much. If Josh would have slid for it, he might not have made the play, but it would be a hit for sure.
That's right.
but I think they are going to give him a base hit.
I really do wonder if players over the years have started to go to those slides with that in mind. Hey, you know, I'm not going to get charged with an error. I'm going to go into the slide knowing that it looks like it's a more difficult play, and if I come up with it and get the out, okay, but if I don't, there's no way I'll be charged with an error.
I believe that plays a part in some players' game. But to me, the truly good defensive players are the ones that make the hard play look easy. You know, I think there's some overrated guys out there who will make the easy look hard. Jay makes a lot of plays look easy that are very difficult.
Hit hard there. Oh, there's a nice play. Speak of the devil.
Wow.
Just talking about a guy making a play. An absolute bullet. Jordy Mercer turns that throwing shot into an inning-ending DP.
And Jordy's one of those guys without a whole lot of flash to his game, and he's one of those guys that make very difficult plays look easy. And you know, after that shot, that one hopper, falling, able to flip the ball to Jay, and Jay has to wait on it and still has time to make the turn and get Braun by a half step.
Impressive. On deck for this fifth inning, Adam Frazier leading off against Tyler Cravey, whose home run tied the game.
Frazier can get it started again. Good two-strike hitter. Sees a lot of pitches. We're talking a lot lately of the Josh Bell approach, where, you know, Josh lets the ball get deep, looks to hit the ball up the middle the other way. Adam Frazier, kind of the same way.
Broxton. Jordy Mercer is 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored in this game. Last night, the big hit of the evening with the bases loaded off Matt Garza in the 6th. Pirates led 1-0 at the time. First career granny, 10th home run of the year for Jordy Mercer.
Jordy shortened up with 2 strikes, an 0-2 slider. Didn't crush it, but got just enough.
8 years ago, the Pirates drafted Jordy Mercer in the 3rd round out of Oklahoma State. And the Cowboy fouls it off on the wet board in the clubhouse. Birthday greeting. Happy birthday to the Cowboy, 30 today. For Tyler Cravey, he got the last out last inning. And then right away hits the home run. His first in the big leagues, his first hit. Cravey, the California native. Two and two. Cravey in search of his first major league win. 0-9 to begin his major league career. This breaking ball almost clips Mercer.
Big 12-6 curveball. As he breaks straight down, that one way too tight.
Broken bat, bouncer to 3rd. Perez retires Mercer. And make your Friday a free shirt Friday. Look at this. Look at Mr. Blass. Be one of the first 20,000 fans through the gates and receive a free 1971 inspired t-shirt presented by FedEx Ground. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Now, John, I said this to you and to Joe and to Bob. I got a lot of grief for that first one.
Not from me, by the way.
Okay, but as I told Bob, maybe I haven't told you, that and I asked the promotions department if they would include all of us in different commercials. So Steve was next. I didn't think he would take it to that level.
That was not pretty.
No, it was not, and not needed.
No.
You know, it's not about you. It's about the giveaway.
The shirt. Just be a pro.
Exactly. That's all we ask. Be professional about it. And he has to go completely out of control, overboard. And a 1-2-3. Top of the 5th as Fryer strikes out. What do you think? Now, come on.
Embarrassing.
Embarrassing. That describes it. Look at this.
Oh, my.
Is brought to you by the Chevy Traverse and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Barrel. Check out the Barrel Hot List at barrel.com. Now the only way to buy a car. Let's go Bucks!
Go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 6-6 here in Milwaukee. Laverne and Shirley and the Fonz here here in Milwaukee, the Fonz statue, and that maybe is what Steve was trying to get at with that look. Hey, hey. We have a week to dissect one of the all-time great Pirate commercials. Next Friday night, the Free Shirt Friday. Hey. Hernan Perez, 2 homers off starter Jameson Taillon. Perez, Carter, and Santana. Jeff Locke, after giving up the home run, struck out Keon Broxton. Infield hit for Scooter Gennett, then the hard shot to Mercer. The double play. And pitch is taken for the ball. Ball to right. Catch made by Frazier.
He trying to go left, center, and right. A little inside out swing there. Tied him up. Easy play.
1 down. So Chris Carter. So Happy Days was set here in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Then the spinoff for Vernon Shirley, right?
Yes. That Fonz is just a few blocks down the street. You ever see him?
I don't know. Is it on one of the bridges?
Right along the river there.
Yeah.
Just
I must have missed him.
Yeah.
I'll look for him now.
When we come out and turn right.
I see the ducks.
When we come out and turn right and go down by the bridge.
Yeah.
So if you go, it's right along. You'd have to go down the steps and up a block.
Okay.
That's where he stands.
There it is, the Fonz statue. The bronze Fonz. Hey, how many duck statues are there? Hey.
Be careful with this guy. Yeah, he'll strike out a lot. You can get him a chase. If you make a mistake, he can make you pay. Especially here in this ballpark.
Two and two on Chris Carter. He struck out and bounced out. And Locke gets the strikeout. Second K for Locke. 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Rick Sofield was out there with Robbie and Smokowski, and I hope you saw the pregame because they do their weekly feature, Sitting with Soph, Rick Sofield, and they did it over by the Fonz statue. A lot of energy. Pirates third base coach, base running instructor, outfield coach Rick Sofield. Watching Domingo Santana take ball 2. Wondering that maybe this is kind of a role that Locke can evolve into and have success as a reliever. Touch base with Neil Huntington about that in his radio show last week. Perhaps Locke's one of those guys that would succeed as a reliever. Nothing to hold back now. Not trying to use certain pitches one inning to hold back for the next at bat. Trying to set up guys.
We've seen we see often actually former starters, especially left-handed starters, that kind of go into the bullpen and have a nice long career out of the bullpen. In fact, Zach Duke, Tom Gorzolani still pitching out of the bullpen.
And he strikes out Santana. Third strikeout. Tied up. 6-6. Hey. Out the National League wild card standings, and those Mets with it, that it's looking as though the addition of Cespedes has kind of jump-started that club. Coming off the DL, meanwhile Jeff Locke gave up that home run to Cravey, but settled down. 1-2-3 bottom of the fifth. And he will watch and see if the Pirates can't get him a run. Sean Rodriguez leads off against Cravey. First at bat for Rodriguez. Jimmy Nelson 3 2/3. Jameson Taillon for the Pirates, 3 innings, and both starters chased early.
Two friends probably were looking forward to this matchup for a while. Just didn't work out for either one.
Blaine Boyer now after Cravey went 1 1/3.
Pitches to contact. See, he's 23 strikeouts.
Well, Boyer just scoreless 7th inning last night after giving up a leadoff double to Andrew McCutchen, able to get out of it. Up. Looks like it's headed out of play. It is. Into the count. And Sean Rodriguez as the Pirates look to make it 3 straight here at at Miller Park in Milwaukee for the first time in a single series since 2004. Pirates swept a 3-game series April 30th, May 1st, May 2nd, 2004. It's the last time they won 3 straight here in a single series. All time, they are 43-88 at Miller Park. They moved into this stadium in 2001. The Pirates started playing the Milwaukee Brewers in 1997 when interleague play began, and they, of course, were then playing at County Stadium. The Brewers moved into the National League the following year. The Pirates went 10-11 at County Stadium against Milwaukee, but of course the Pirates played the Milwaukee Braves for several years at Old County Stadium, 1953 to 1965. Another foul. And the Boston Braves moved to Milwaukee. Played here from 53 to 65 before they moved down to Atlanta. The Pirates were 47-57 against the Milwaukee Braves at County Stadium. Rich history of professional and Major League Baseball in this great city of Milwaukee. And a shot up the middle by Sean Rodriguez. Leadoff single brings up Josh Harrison.
Nicely done. 8-pitch at bat for Sean. Finishing it with the hard hit ball.
Got some tweets regarding the t-shirt promo. A lot of people laughing, some crying, watching Steve Blass. And yeah, it's true. He's got that ring. He can do what he likes. If you missed it, this is the debut of this commercial, the Free Shirt Friday. He's pointing at the ring. Yeah. Free Shirt Friday coming up when the Pirates host these Brewers at PNC Park this coming Friday. You have a chance to see that promo several times on this road trip. Tomorrow afternoon, the Pirates conclude this series, and then it's on to Chicago's Wrigley Field for a 3-game series against the Cubs on Monday. Josh Harrison 3 for 3 against starter Jimmy Nelson. A bunt. Oh, and a hit off that grass and kicked right.
If that stays fair, I think he might beat it, because Carter broke off the bag and Scooter Gennett was not in a position to field a throw. Look at that. That's a race for Harrison and Gennett. I mean, that stays fair. That's a 4th hit for Jay. Bit of a bad break.
He singled to right field to start this ball game. Ended up stealing 3rd in that first inning and scoring the first run. Infield hit to 2nd in the 3rd inning and stole 2nd. And a 2-run single to left in the 4th and scored. And a pop-up. Santana squeezes it. Looking out that time. Boyer to the plate. Nick Leva stopwatch. Sean Rodriguez leadoff hit. And now Josh Bell 0 for 3, but brought in the 5th run, the tying run at the time in the 4th, with a ground out to 2nd. Slaps it toward left, toward the line, and a foul ball. Just a little slap shot. That ball goes a long way off that bat.
Yeah, big, strong man. And again, he likes to hit the fastball the other way. And, man, just
that close.
Yeah, looked like a foot or less.
24-year-old Josh Bell getting his first taste of the major leagues and seeing all these now major league ballparks. First trip into Milwaukee. Made his debut at PNC Park against the Cubs before the All-Star break. Stuck around with the team and they began the second half in Washington, D.C. He played briefly with the Nationals, and then the Pirates sent him back down. And then when Chung Ho Gong went on the disabled list last homestand, Bell back up. And another shot past third toward the left field corner. Braun able to grab the ball and get it into second on a close play. But Josh Bell has an opposite field double, moving Rodriguez to third.
I don't know if I've ever seen a guy hit that many balls the other way and get on top, especially a big, like, power hitting guy like Josh Bell. There's a lot of guys, big left-handed hitters, that don't have the swing to get on top of the ball the other way. And in Bell, we see it almost on a nightly basis. He just stays back, sees it deep. Another hard hit ball. No surprise. Josh Bell collects another hit.
Andrew McCutchen is going to be walked intentionally. And they know that Jeff Locke is on deck. The Pirates do have bullpen action. So it's going to be an opportunity for Gregory Polanco as Clint Hurdle is going to these trump cards early. He had Jaso pinch hit in the fourth, and now his other big left-handed bat, Gregory Polanco, is going to be used here in the sixth. Ocasio will be replacing Locke. As McCutchen has walked intentionally to set up this big situation for Gregory Polanco.
Yes, sir. You don't know how many times you're going to get into a situation where you have the bases loaded, and it's relatively early here in the sixth inning, so you have to take advantage and take your best crack at opening the game up. And so Polanco off the bench early here in the sixth.
You got to look at Boyer last night. Boyer struck him out as Polanco went 0 for 5 in the game. He was 0 for 5 on Thursday night. And going back to his last at bat on Wednesday afternoon, he struck out. So 0 for his last 11 since an RBI triple in the seventh inning against the Astros at PNC Park Wednesday afternoon. One granny, but looking for just even a hit here to get the Pirates back on top. Ball one.
Gregory, another guy that for a big guy now in the middle of the lineup, capable of hitting the ball hard the other way and gets on top of the ball the other way. But also capable of turning around the fastball and hitting it a very long way.
One ball, no strikes. 2 balls, no strikes. May 30th against the Marlins, his first career grand slam. Sean Rodriguez at third, Josh Bell at second, Andrew McCutchen at first. Polanco bats for Jeff Locke in the sixth inning with 1 out. Boyer looks for a ground ball to an infielder to get out of this jam. 2-1. Again, that grand slam coming in Miami. Jose Urena, a no-doubter. For Gregory Polanco. The Pirates were playing at Marlins Park in Miami at the end of May. Last night it was Jordy Mercer. Jose Urena, by the way, pitched tonight for the Marlins against the Padres. Pitched well, but they're trailing 1-0. And a line drive toward right center field. There's a big gap there. This is going to score Rodriguez and Bell. McCutchen being waved home. Here's the throw to the plate. It's a bases loaded, bases clearing double for El Cafe. A pinch hit 3-run double to give the Pirates a 9-6 lead in the 6th.
Yeah, that's a big hit right there, and the Pirates have been able to come up big with the bases loaded in this series. First pitch missing down and in, down, well out of the zone. Polanco chases 2-0. This one up high enough, right about the knees, where Polanco likes to get those arms extended. Splits the two outfielders perfectly.
Gives him 75 RBIs on the season now, and the Pirates lead 9-6. They intentionally walked McCutchen, and Polanco and the Pirates burned Craig Counsell and the Brewers for that call, as Mercer burned them last night after they walked Cervelli intentionally. On a strike on Marte.
Those are backbreakers. Those are game changers. Anytime you can come up with a big hit with the bases loaded. Mercer last night. Jaso earlier in the game. Now Polanco. Hay.
Headed toward the seats. One and two on Marte. Gregory Polanco off the bench. His first pinch hit of the season. Just 5 at bats, but that was the big one. Flare. And Jeanette waits for that final hop and is able to get Marte.
A little fister and some spin. Polanco held on, wasn't sure if it was going to carry out to Jeanette.
Adam Frazier. Frazier singled with 1 out in the 4th. That got that rally going. Pirates scored 5. They were down 5-1 going into the 4th. Maldonado 1-2, but decides not to throw to second.
And again, we've seen this now. That's at least the 3rd time this series that Maldonado has done this, where he puts a sign on with one of his infielders and tries to throw behind the runner. He's yet to be successful, but what typically happens when you do that is you create a hole defensively.
And a line drive caught by Arcia. Ends the 6th, but Gregory Polanco comes up big. reminder as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in the game. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Blanco stays in the game. Play left field after that pinch hit. 3-run double. Gives the Pirates the lead back. See, Clint Hurdle looked like he was doing the Fonz. That's a thing now. I think Glasses started it.
Catching on.
Yeah. Blanco in right. And Juan Nicasio.
Nicasio doing a great job out of the bullpen. And for starting the first half of the season, 9-6, a 4.67 ERA, 110 punch-outs in 96 and a third. And this is where you like to be with this Pirates bullpen. You give them a lead late, covering more innings than they typically have to, but still very tough to hit.
Fernando Arcia. RBI single in the first. Broken bat single in the third. Thrown out at the plate. A relay throw, Marte to Mercer to Fryer. That ended the third inning. Jameson Taillon went 3, gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. And a bouncer. And a backhand play made by Harrison. And look at that play. Talk about making something look easy.
Exactly, with a speedy runner in Arcia. Jay, who was shading him a little bit towards the middle, as you can see there, but look how he has to cross back onto the shortstop side. Glove to hand to Bell, all in one motion, and absolutely perfect as he's running towards left field. An absolute perfect strike to Josh Bell.
Another outstanding play from Harrison. Now Maldonado. One ball, one strike. Nicasio going to go at least a couple. Clint Hurdle said he will not use Tony Watson tonight. Felipe Rivero not going to be used. Seems like Natali Felice would be the 9th inning guy. And Nicasio has been a nice weapon for the Pirates out of the bullpen after beginning the year in the rotation. 96 there in the corner, 1 and 2.
You have to figure you have Nicasio at least 2.
Neuenhuis on deck. 2 and 2. We'll send along a happy birthday wish to Charles Chick Dillon. He'll be 89 tomorrow. He was recently honored by the Altoona Curve a couple of weeks ago. Their military hero of the game for his service in World War II. Happy birthday, Chick Dillon. 89 tomorrow. Big time Pirates fan. Watches all the games. He was born the year the Pirates went to the World Series against Murderers Row, the New York Yankees. Pirates were swept in the 27 series 2 years after they had defeated the Washington Senators in the 25 World Series. And a liner right to Josh Bell for the second out. Let's go downstairs to Robbie.
Well, Kirk Neuenhuis here is going to pinch hit for the Milwaukee Brewers. And before the game, he had a rather unique way of getting ready for the ball game by doing yoga, along with relief pitchers Corey Knebel and Carlos Torres. Now the Brewers do this once a homestand. They bring in a yoga instructor to work with players, and this is the core group. These three guys do it every single time and do yoga in right field before they get ready for the ball game. It's something that started last year during spring training, and it was an optional thing, and the Brewers just wanted to see kind of how many guys responded to it, would be interested in doing it. Now they do it consistently, this time for the second year. A little group yoga before the ball game, Greg.
We've talked about this, Robbie and John, about how just think about how different the game is, the modern game of baseball, things like that. The clubhouses, how different they are.
Oh, yeah.
Just using all the modern technology they possibly can.
I mean, there's quiet rooms.
Yeah. Dietitians. Now traveling masseuse.
Yep.
Heist went, and that's a nice, quick 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the 6th for Juan Nicasio, who didn't do yoga before the game.
Is brought to you by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected. By Kenny Ross, Total Confidence Pricing. And by Levin Mattress, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
9-6. Roof back open after a slight rain shower. They closed the roof for a couple innings, and now Brent Suter, his third big league game, the only lefty out of the bullpen available for Craig Counsell. This is Jordy Mercer. The Pirates up 9-6. A little pop up. Jeanette.
Kind of tied himself up on a little 82-mile-per-hour pitch to Jordy. Jeanette calling off Carter. They're going back and forth a bit about it, as Carter pretty much camped.
Brent Suter out of Harvard. This is Eric Fryer.
That's a big bender there. Doesn't get the call. Just 71 miles per hour. Look at the First pitch didn't get a call in the inside corner. This one on the outside corner. Now he's behind. Despite throwing 4 pitches in the zone, now 2-2.
Ground ball. And Arcia in the dirt, picked by Carter. Two down. That will bring up Sean Rodriguez, who singled last inning in his first at bat. Brent Suter. His dad played on the 1982 Penn State Nittany Lion National Championship team. And a little broken bat roller. And infield hit.
Funny thing about that particular hit, Sean Rodriguez will take it, but just as Suter was getting ready to throw the pitch, Jeanette went running over to the other side of second base, and he just gets there, and the ball is hit right where he was. And again, I think if he stays on his feet, he makes a play. But he goes down and loses the handle, and an 11th hit for the Pirates.
Close.
They want a challenge. There you see it. The throw takes the glove right into Rodriguez just before he gets back to the bag. Looked like first base umpire Dan Iasonia perhaps a little blocked from seeing the tag.
He's on the headsets along with crew chief Dale Scott. Almost looked as though as Iasonia looks toward the replay, he was saying looked like they might have had him. He's out. Pickoff ends the top of the 7th. Pirates lead at 9-6.
and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Pirates lead at 9-6. Had an early lead. The Brewers scoring 4 times in the bottom of the first off starter Jameson Taillon, a 3-run homer by Hernan Perez. They added another run in the third. And the Perez home run. Pirates were down 5-1 going into the fourth, scored 5 to take the lead. Pitcher Tyler Cravey, a reliever, tied the game off Jeff Locke. Pirates scored 3 in the sixth. And with a 3-run lead, Leon Broxton faces Juan Nicasio. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Broxton 2 at-bats against Taillon, struck out against Jeff Locke. First at-bat against Nicasio at a 1-2-3-6. Need 9 outs. And Clint Hurdle would probably love to get 3 innings out of Nicasio. He'd be efficient. We're getting a lot of questions about why Clint Hurdle is not chewing gum anymore. That is a huge topic. And he addressed that today. Stephen Nesbitt of the Post-Gazette was in there asking him about it. He said it was suggested to him that he stopped because he had a little bit of neck trouble. Wow. And chewing gum so hard at times, jaw issues as well, that had some neck pain, and he has quit chewing for I think a couple weeks now. And he said he feels fantastic.
How about that?
And down on strikes goes Keon Broxton. 1 away.
Climb the ladder, go upstairs. Juan. An overpowering fastball at 96 miles per hour.
Scooter Gennett steps to the plate against Nicasio. Gennett is 2 out of 3. Nicasio has struck out 24 batters in his last 15 innings of work.
And I mean, it was such an interesting story coming out of spring training. He was so dominant down there in Bradenton, and everybody felt that he deserved a shot. It really didn't work out, but man, what a weapon out of the bullpen.
Well, you just as long as we have been in the game, still get caught up in all the talk.
Yeah.
Spring training. What's that roster going to look like? What's the rotation going to look like? Well, the rotation completely different now, especially with Cole. Sounds like unlikely to start Monday. Nicasio, Locke. Now in the bullpen. Liriano traded to Toronto. Nice to the Mets. Nice on the DL now. And Vogelsong, who pitched that strong game last night, was the guy who really lost out on that starting spot in the rotation to Nicasio with his strong spring numbers.
So absolutely, totally different rotation.
Address this on our open to start the game, but right now the rotation, and even you'd have to say the bullpen, is probably as, I don't know if the numbers bear it out, but it's as stabilized as it's been all year.
Yeah. Stay alive, getting a piece of it.
Pirates ERA in April was 4.10. Got better in May at 393, 531 in June, 364 in July, 316 this month. The lowest ERA of any month this month of August, as the balls popped up to Sean Rodriguez for the second out. Jeanette retired.
It's such a huge advantage, I think, for the Pirates when, like a game like today, you lose. Each team loses their starting pitcher. That Pirate bullpen just too strong. It's like we've grown accustomed to over the last several years. Lights out.
Braun was aboard when Hernan Perez homered in the first off Tyone. Tyone was able to strike him out to end the second. And Braun retired on a hard shot in the fourth. Jeff Locke got him that shot to Jordy Mercer. The Pirates bullpen, which is a bit short tonight because Tony Watson, as we said, will not go, nor apparently will Felipe Rivero. You see Watson there on your right talking to Jared Hughes. Standing up is Antonio Bastardo. And Natali Felice likely to close this one tonight. 1 and 2.
And so you figure Nicasio may go a third inning. If not, I guess Bastardo would pitch the eighth, you would think. Pitcher spot not due up till sixth in the top of the eighth.
Nicasio has gone 3 innings as a reliever twice. Most of last year out of the bullpen with the Dodgers. Former starter with the Colorado Rockies. 3 and 2 on Braun. Strikes out Braun looking. Juan Nicasio 6 up, 6 down, 3 strikeouts. but Hernan Perez has been a thorn in Jameson Taillon's side as he homered in the first and then in the third inning. Went deep again. 2-homer night for Perez and 3 homers off Taillon in the last 2 meetings. But the Pirates came back. John Jaso's pinch hit RBI single made it 5-2. Josh Harrison had a 2-run single in that 4th inning, got the Bucs to within 1 after a Josh Bell ground out tied the game. Andrew McCutchen's infield hit completed a 5-run inning. And in the bottom half of that 4th inning, Tyler Cravey, the reliever, homered to tie it. And then Gregory Polanco, a 3-run double as a pinch hitter. With the bases loaded for Blaine Boyer to get the Pirates the lead again. And then it's been shutdown mode for Juan Nicasio. Josh Harrison looking for his 4th hit. He's 3 for 3 against the starter Jimmy Nelson, now facing the lefty Brent Suter. Harrison nearly had a bunt single in the 6th, but flied out against Boyer. Suter got the first 2 out in the 7th, gave up an infield hit to Sean Rodriguez. As Harrison's fly ball to Braun. J-Hay flies out to left.
Yeah, that late break on that just missed it. Just got in on J-Hay a bit. Thought for a moment he might have had his 4th hit that ended up in the seats. Not quite.
Josh Bell bats right-handed for the first time tonight. Double in the 6th, RBI in the 4th. The rookie Brent Suter gets Bell to pop up. Suter, who just made his debut in the big leagues a week ago, I mentioned out of Harvard, but a baseball and basketball star out of Moeller High School in Cincinnati, a powerhouse. Helped win the state championship in 2007. Now faces Andrew McCutchen.
I want to say one of the coaches from Moeller does the official scoring at Great American Ballpark. Ran into him one night and he was going on and on about all the alumni that were in the major leagues, past and present.
Definitely a powerhouse. One.
McCutchen thought he had ball 4. Look where this pitch ends up. And so he's ready to go. And as he stepped out to take off his gear, and then he drug his front leg back into the batter's box. He likes hitting lefties anyhow.
It's this hard fair past third and a single for McCutchen.
That way he's swinging the bat. Why draw a walk? And Andrew for 3-2. I don't know if that was a slider coming in. Perez even guarding the line down there at third, and still McCutchen able to hit it hard enough to get it past him.
A dozen hits for the Pirates. Now a left-on-left situation. Gregory Polanco at the pinch hit 3-run double, stayed in the game to play right. leading by 3. Cardinals are trailing in the 9th inning to Oakland 3-2. The A's coming back in that one. They're in St. Louis. Oakland leads it. The Marlins are trailing the Padres 1-0. They're in the 9th in Miami. Great start from Clayton Richard. 7 scoreless. Those 2 scores very promising for the Pirates. They could move to within a game and a half of the Cardinals. They need, however, 6 more outs. The MLB.com at-bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Game going on. Pirate fan digging in as Juan Nicasio. We're digging what he's been doing. 6 up, 6 down. We'll presume Clint Hurdle wants 1 more out of him, with his spot due up 2nd in the 9th. Hernan Perez will lead things off. A 2-homer game for Perez, then Chris Carter and Domingo Santana.
Breaking ball, Nicasio trying to bridge that gap to Neftali Feliz. Clint Hurdle does have Bastardo warming just in case.
Nicasio just right now looks locked in. David Freese takes over at 3rd base. Sean Rodriguez has gone to 1st, and a roller, and Rodriguez will race over there. He's playing well off the line, and he gets there. Always interesting to see these defenses. The Pirates do it on occasion with Rodriguez, play him well off the line. He has to get over there, and he did.
And he has to anticipate that ground ball, and what you wonder is if there's a ground ball just to his right, you know, that Josh Harrison can make a play on. I mean, that's where you rely on the pitcher, because if he has to cross over or take 1 step to the right, likely that he won't be able to recover and get back and cover the bag.
As John said, Bastardo is up just in case. And a base hit for Carter. And the first hit, the first base runner off Nicasio. The batter will be Domingo Santana. Nicasio, you see there 38 pitches. Nicasio had a 53 pitch outing against Atlanta in just 2 innings. And the Pirates were down in Atlanta at the beginning of this month.
You would think he'd have plenty in the tank to get through this 3rd inning if he stays out of trouble. Still throwing that last pitch to Santana at 95.
His last start was against the Mets June 16th. Shifted to the bullpen in his first relief outing 10 days later. And ahead of Domingo Santana, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Breaking ball, and Bob Davidson has it catching the corner. And Santana asked about it, and you see why, as it's just off the plate. Because of the call going against Santana, there's another slider. Borderline, might have been off the plate, but you can't take chances with 2 strikes. Try to waste it, which he did.
.143 at bats this season. Santana has struck out 57 times, so he is definitely a candidate to punch out here. Nicasio has struck out 3. Whoa, yikes. 96, and Fryer goes up to stab it.
I think maybe overthrew that one a bit, trying to put a fastball away, trying to get it by Santana. So now Fryer wants to make sure that he and Nicasio are on the same page for the 2-2 pitch. And good job by Eric Fryer. That's not as easy as it looks. Looking for a pitch down the way, and you get one that's up over your head.
Nicasio with strikeout number 4 and 2 down in the 8th.
Hard, sharp slider. Santana, and that's even in the zone, just barely catching the corner. As you see the tight rotation. And Santana just out front.
Great look on the Allegheny Health Network Supermo. That strikeout. And now faces Orlando Arcia, who's 2 for 3. That slider was getting so many strikeouts in spring training. That really caught everybody's attention. He's throwing a ton of strikes. Just hard to ignore, even though it was just spring training. And out in front 0-2.
And it's pretty remarkable. Just the life on the ball, the movement, late movement, the explosiveness. He puts hitters on their heels. They have to be defensive. I mean, it's almost like you have to just be in protection mode up there against them.
Oh, 2 on Arcia. Just gets a piece of it. Spring training this year, Nicasio, 15 innings, no runs. Opponents hit 189. He walked 5 in the 15 innings and struck out 24. Those numbers, as we said, hard to ignore, and that's really what forced the Pirates. He forced their hand to make that decision. And there were times when it showed up in some starts, but inconsistent. He's been much better out of the bullpen, and he is looking for a third out to complete 3 very strong innings of relief. He does. Oh, how about that one? 3 scoreless, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. Pirates lead 9-6. Offense coming to life, and look at this updated standings. The Cardinals lose to Oakland 3-2. So the Pirates now, with 3 more outs, can get to within a game and a half of that second wild card spot. The Marlins are trailing at home to the Padres in the 9th. Marte looking lost on a couple swings here against the lefty Suter, talking to himself. Suter, a couple of scoreless innings of relief. My goodness.
Not throwing very hard. And, even there, the breaking ball's up in the zone, getting chases. Right around the letters.
Suter now faces Chad Kuhl. It's a pinch hit for Nicasio. So Clint Hurdle went to the big bats off the bench early, and now he'll go to the pitcher, Chad Kuhl. And they're getting a kick out of this. I think this is Kuhl's first Major League pinch hit appearance.
Why not? I guess if there was runners on and you needed a bat other than the pitcher, you could go with Cervelli, but Chad Kuhl, I'm sure looked forward to that.
He was surprised he didn't let Nicasio hit.
Yeah.
Nicasio's, when you see Kuhl, I mean, the Pirates feel like he has a chance, even though he's just 1 for 15. He struck out 6 times. Nicasio has 3 hits and 19 at bats this season. What a great job by Nicasio.
Yeah, that was outstanding. And once again, the bullpen just coming in and shutting down the door.
Talking about that at the outset of this game, that the Pirates were winners of the first 2 games of this series, ending the 9-game losing streak thanks in large part to the great starting pitching and the shutdown bullpen of Neftali Feliz getting ready for a save opportunity. Twelve and a third innings of scoreless or 1-run relief as Locke gave up the home run. The only run in this series allowed by Pirates relievers.
By the way, I keep calling these pitches because it looks like there's a little bit of cutter, a little bit of slide to him. I mean, this is fastball. His fastballs have been averaging 83 miles an hour. That little cutter he keeps throwing is 82, averages 82.2 miles per hour. So this is, you know, I didn't look at the chart. I should have looked at the chart before I started commenting. But yeah, that's his fastball.
Wow.
That's 83.
Wow.
That's what he's averaged with his fastball this year. Throws his changeup at 78, his curveball at 71.5 miles per hour on average.
Man.
How about that? Below hitting speed.
Yeah, fooling the Pirates for sure. He pitches 3 scoreless, but the Pirates still up by 3. Nine-6, Andrew McCutchen having some fun. It's great to see him smiling again. And during the break in the dugout, Josh Harrison, little yoga action. It's an Olympic landing there. McCutchen going to try it. Says, I got to try this. See how he lands. Perfect landing. McCutchen with a couple of hits and an RBI in this ball game. Pirates with a dozen hits. Valley Felice will try and save this one for Jeff Locke.
Good season for Felice. The ERA just under 3, 57 punch outs and 51 in the third innings. Opponents hitting just 189 against him. Maldonado didn't like the call, especially the catcher Eric Fryer had to go off the end of his glove.
Bottom of the ninth inning in Miami, with the Padres still holding that 1-0 lead, 1 out. So 2 more outs for the Padres to get against the Fish, and 3 more outs for the Pirates to get here against the Brewers. To move to within 1.5 of the Cardinals. Fly ball to right. Blanco. 1 down here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Tomorrow, the concluding game of this 4-game series, Ivan Nova takes the hill for the Pirates. Chase Anderson for the Brewers. Coverage starts at 1:30. Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Could the Pirates be looking at the chance to sweep the Brewers in Milwaukee in a 4-game series? Well, 2 more outs. That's exactly what they'll be looking at. Jonathan Villar pinch hitting for Brent Suter. Switch hitter batting lefty. See, 5 for 10 in his career. Off the bench was 1 for 5 last night. 1 for 10 in the series. Committed 2 errors, costly in the 6th inning of last night's ball game. But the other way, and a base hit for VR.
Yeah, that's a nice piece of hitting. When you're facing a guy like Felice who's throwing the ball up in the upper 90s, it's hard to stay back and hit a breaking ball the other way against him, but that's exactly what he did. Felice got ahead with a backdoor breaking ball. Looked like he came at it again, and VR like swung at it like he knew it was coming.
VR is second in the league in stolen bases, but doesn't figure to be going anywhere with the Brewers down by 3. Broxton at the plate. Scooter Gennett is on deck, and then Ryan Braun. Felice looking for his 2nd save this season, the one-time closer for the Texas Rangers. His other save was back in July against the Cardinals. Ball, 1 strike, the block by Fryer. Now out in front of the rookie, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Broxton striking out twice tonight. Now in 153 at bats with the Brewers, and struck out 66 times in 153 ABs.
Wow, that is a high number. That's a high number for a power hitter.
Strike 3. 2 down here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Felice with 1 more out to get.
That breaking ball didn't break much. Kind of just stayed up and looked like it stayed pretty straight. And it just froze Broxton.
Scooter Gennett at the plate. Runner will take off. Pirates pay no attention. Defensive indifference. It is a final. The Marlins have fallen 1-0 to the Padres. One more out and the Pirates are a game and a half back, tied with the Fish, behind St. Louis.
Clayton Richard.
How about that? 7 shutout innings for Richard. Two 2-0. Work to be done here. Again, Ryan Braun is on deck. Updated standings. Pirates need to get this last out to get it to within a game and a half. Jaime Garcia will pitch tomorrow for St. Louis. Concluding game of that series against Oakland at Busch Stadium. Andrew Cashner, the former Padre, pitches for Miami against Luis Perdomo. A 3-2 win for Oakland tonight. And 3-0.
And we have to throw these pitches right down the middle. And Gennett doesn't matter. And you have to make him earn it, make him swing the bat. And Ryan Braun on deck. If he gets to the batter's box, he'll represent the tying run.
Three and one. Talking with Ray Searage and Clint Hurdle about a pitch from Phillies. 3 and 1.
Wow, that was a shock. He threw a breaking ball in there, kind of pushed it up there. And again, Gennett.
He's meaningless.
Yeah.
Let him hit the ball out of the ballpark on a 3-1 pitch. Don't walk him. And now it is Braun. 3-1 pitch to Scooter Gennett. Take another look.
Yeah, he just pushes the breaking ball up there. And nowhere close. I don't get the breaking ball. I mean, that big arm, the high 90s fastball, just pump it in there.
Looks like Fryer was not anticipating that. And now first and second, here is Braun. Braun has homered off Felice. And ball one. Now homered off Neftali Felice at PNC Park back in April. Tie it up there.
Thought he was going to get a fastball. Geared up for it. Didn't recognize. Helps Felice.
Chopper. Maybe a tough play. Mercer, the bare hand to first, and in time, says Iasonia. Is the game over? We don't know.
Council's already asked him to just check it. Not even waiting for his bench or anything else like that. He just right away, I mean, obviously game's over, so why even look? Just have them review it. Boy, oh boy, that's a close one.
And the way they're smiling in the dugout, you'd think that they must have been told by Kevin Roach, their video coordinator, that he is out. Another look. Big stretch from Sean Rodriguez. Allegheny Health Network Super Mo. No way you could overturn that.
No, you're not overturning that.
Sean Rodriguez believed he had him. Clint Hurdle believes he's out. I think Craig Counsell knows he's out.
What a play by Jordy Mercer.
Man, yeah.
My goodness. Coming in with the bare hand. Throwing all in one motion, off balance. A strong throw. And it just gets there.
Another look at this great play by Jordy Mercer, the birthday boy, we believe has ended this ball game. And the bang bang play. Now we're just waiting this out before we can celebrate, before we can hoist the colors. And have to very slowly raise.
Yeah. And it's one of those, if they called them safe, I don't think you can overturn it either. You know, I mean, is there enough evidence there? I mean, it's so close. I mean, we've slowed it down several times, as has the Brewers scoreboard operation team, and they've showed it a number of times. And at times we've heard the Brewer fans cheer. At other times we've
raised the Jolly Roger. The Pirates win it, moved within a game and a half of the St. Louis Cardinals. The call stands. The play Jordy Mercer made, of course, Gregory Polanco, the big pinch hit, 3-run double, smiles all around from the outfield. At the age of 30, Jordy Mercer ends the ball game with a pretty play on the chopper by Ryan Braun, and Neftali Feliz gets the save for Jeff Locke.
That's a big win, another big win in this building, winning 3 straight here against these Brewers, taking advantage of some wildness of the Brewers. Jimmy Nelson, after hit a couple of walks, another hit, as you mentioned.